Diddy's attorney, Mark Guros, didn't sugarcoat the situation. He openly stated that Diddy has already been marked as a target. There was even a disturbing incident at the MDC where someone attempted to assault him with a weapon. The attack failed, but the warning was unmistakable. An attempt was made, and that fact alone changes the stakes completely, given the danger surrounding him. It's no shock that Diddy is desperately reaching out for protection and help.
Are you concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted? Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp, but he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him because he is a
Gallegos made it clear that this level of danger is not uncommon behind bars. People are injured, people are killed, and when the person involved is high profile, widely known, and extremely wealthy, the risk multiplies fast. That's why he said authorities will have no choice but to place Diddy in a setting where he can be monitored constantly. Not because he's asking for special treatment, but because the threat against him is very real. Jaguar Wright also weighed in, questioning what it must feel like for someone who once spoke with absolute confidence and control to suddenly have none at all. Once those doors shut, there's no stage, no audience, and no power structure to hide behind. She went even further, ridiculing Diddy's public relations image, claiming he was never a man of faith, and alleging instead that he worshipped darker forces.
He had said in the documentary, he had said, I'm doing what God told me to do.
Yeah.
So he was basically saying his actions were ordained by our Father. And that kind of basically over law and man gave him the okay to do technically what he felt was right.
And
with
yet
the shirt,
God said no.
Yeah, right. So with the shirt itself, God said no. Do you feel like after, because this, of course, that video was made prior to his, the verdict and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like he himself would be on the same thought process that, God is still telling him to, do as he is, do as he moves? Of course, God is telling everyone to do it, but for him to be able to have that same conviction on that video, do you think he'll be on the same motion as of now?
Well, see, that's the thing. It all depends on who you call God. I know some little weirdo who's on the cover of Forbes for, being a faithful servant to the God that he serves. He calls himself a God. I know plenty of people that say the word God, but just because you say the word God doesn't mean we're all serving the same entity. The question is who's serving the right God?
Hey,
that's the real question. I've been having conversations about this very interesting, back tattoo, which is an abomination in itself. It's only down to I was just talking to everyone about how he pretty much turned it into a demonic symbol, and he's been pimping that whole thing because for those who know the Orishas, that particular Orisha is supposed to be the protector of women and children.
Wow.
Why would someone like him have that tattoo on his?
Jaguar claimed the 50 Cent documentary painted Diddy as the sole villain, while quietly scrubbing out others who played roles behind the scenes. According to her, that one-sided narrative doesn't shield him at all, it leaves him exposed. It isolates him, forcing him to stand alone in an environment where standing alone can be the most dangerous position of all.
Everybody's paying attention to the fact that almost every Diddy documentary that's out, he's in it.
He is. He wasn't in this one, though.
Huh? Oh, no, he was in this one.
Oh, he was. You're correct. You are correct. He was.
In this one. He was sitting there, smiling with a shit-eating grin, while Diddy is sitting there telling him that he is the gold standard of Black excellence and how he's writing the price point for our people. And he's just so happy to be there. And listen, to this demon run his face when he knows exactly what's going on. And it's really wild because I was listening not long, actually during the trial, he did a whole video calling me a liar and telling people why they shouldn't believe me. And he uses the same style of disinformation. It's like very interesting. Like he's got a style when he's doing his disinformation, when he's trying to get people to unbelieve what they saw.
Jaguar acknowledged that several points made in those videos weren't entirely false, particularly when the discussion shifted to the Quad Studios shooting and Jimmy Henchman. She noted that much of what was being presented was technically accurate, but crucially, something was missing. That missing piece, she argued, was context.
Jimmy Henchman? Jimmy
Yeah,
Henchman.
he was bringing up Jimmy Henchman and all of this and all of that. And it's so funny because everything that he's saying is true, except for he left out one key part. Jimmy the Henchman did plenty of business with Diddy. Not just Diddy. I could think of a couple other rappers he did some dirty work for as well. And it's just so funny that he decided to start off by saying, oh, see, this was wrong. And they tried to get you to believe this and they tried to get you to believe that, except for that connecting part. And then the simple fact that you have Keefe D saying that he was contracted to handle up. So clearly, we're talking about the kind of situations where someone is using someone by proxy to handle their business for them. Now, of course, all of this is alleged. Keefe D, it's really strange. Keefe D, I'll never forget because I went out to Vegas to cover his trial. I had a press pass. I was going to be in there the whole 9 yards, but they kept pushing everything back and pushing everything back. And then he got attacked just like Tory Lanez did, and everything went all to hell. Isn't it wild that he's been in there since 2023 and we're still waiting for his trial to come up in 2026? Puff didn't get pinched until a year after him and managed to get to trial and get through trial and get sentenced and get to serving his time before Keefe D. Keefe D is since 2023.
He must not have the right to a speedy. They must have skipped that part.
Right to a speedy trial. I remember when I first got out there and he couldn't get a paid lawyer to represent him. He was dealing with a public defender. I rode in the elevator with his public defender twice. And he had money. Nobody would take his case.
Wow.
The word literally went out into the street to not take his case, to leave him in their hands.
To Jaguar, it wasn't random, it was a deliberate message. She then returned to the documentary itself, pointing out that her biggest concern wasn't what it included, but what it conveniently left out. The film positions a single man as the center of it all, while quietly erasing others who played a role. The result feels polished, controlled, and threatening. By isolating one person as a villain, it doesn't reveal the full truth, it creates a target.
This documentary, if you didn't hate Diddy, it will make sure that you do. What I hate about it is how sanitized it is. And that's what I've been saying all along. It's sanitized. It's set up to make it seem like Diddy is the only bad guy, when it's keeping out a lot of other people that were involved, who had their hands involved in all kinds of things, which also makes it vulnerable for people to go after it. Like I said, it's very clever. It's very, very, very clever.
Now,
It's just enough to make you hate the whole situation, but there's just enough misplaced and put in the wrong situation and this added here and this boom, 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 for you to be able to still have reasonable doubt on whether or not any of this stuff is real. Yeah.
Would you call the documentary educational, informational, entertaining? What would you say this documentary?
Gaslighting.
Gaslighting.
And it's sad because there's a lot of stuff in there that's true, but there's enough left out to create doubt. And that's the same thing that happened with the trial. Actually, with the trial, it was a lot worse because with the trial, there was just a lot of stuff left out. There was more stuff in this documentary that was in the trial. Half of the stuff in this documentary should have been presented at the trial. Can you imagine if they had had any testimony from Little Rod and the footage that he had from that incident, that firearm incident where the guy G was damn near mortally wounded and was losing his life, and the footage that he had from that. Can you imagine if that had been shown to the jury?
She questioned the timing. Why was so much information only coming out after the verdict, after sentencing? Why announce a documentary a full year before the trial even began, before raids, before arrests, only to end up with footage that didn't even exist at the time of the announcement? To her, it didn't seem like coincidence. It felt calculated. Jaguar also highlighted how public perception was being carefully managed behind the scenes. She pointed to clips showing legal strategies being discussed openly, conversations about filing counterclaims, shaping headlines, and steering public opinion, all before any charges were officially filed. And then, somehow, that footage briefly appeared and just as mysteriously vanished. She asked the question everyone was thinking: who lost it and who found it?
He was going to be doing this documentary before the arrest, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, because the footage that he used, that he featured in this documentary, happened after he announced he was going to be doing the documentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
How lucky was that? What a find.
So,
What a find that was. Like, let's think about that. He announced he was going to be doing the documentary December 2023 with Netflix. And the star footage that you use to get people to re-upload or resubscribe to Netflix to make this the #1 in their TV shows division for almost 2 weeks straight, beating out Stranger Things. How much stranger is that?
I'm not victim.
This footage didn't even exist when you said you were going to be doing this documentary. So we've got a videographer, a rogue videographer that has this very, very, very explosive, very explosive footage of him literally sitting on camera, planning how to go after survivors, how to poison the jury pool, how to fix his trial in advance before he's even arrested. I mean, like, is anybody not forgetting when Mark Agnafilo was sitting there talking to the sons in the hallway, and they're sitting there filming, and he's sitting up there, yeah, well, see, what we got to do is we got to go and we got to put countersuits on all of these people. We have to create lawsuits.
This really does make you wonder what could drive 50 Cent to go so far as to try and completely dismantle Diddy. The answer might surprise you. Gene Deal explained that early in 50 Cent's career, he was writing for other artists, working behind the scenes, and steadily building his reputation. He was poised to be the next big star out of New York. But then everything changed.
He did, man. Yeah, he got everybody going, man. He's getting a lot of backlash, man. Like, people are like mad at 50 for getting behind this thing.
Well, see, the thing about it is that people are out there rabbit mind, and they gonna sit up here and they gonna say some stuff like, they try to make it up like it's because of a girl, it's because of a woman. A man that can have any woman in the damn world, you understand, go any parts of the world, find beautiful women all over the world, that's willing to do whatever he wants to. I'ma be mad because this dude got this one? Nah, it's bigger and it's more than that. They don't want to say it. A lot of these cats out here don't want to tell the truth behind shit.
So when people ask why 50 Cent holds no love for Diddy, Gene says the answer is clear. If someone helped stall your career, push you into isolation, and had ties to those who wanted you out, you don't just forget. You don't turn the other cheek. You don't suddenly start playing nice.
Out of here, try to stop you from eating and everything like that. Diddy was a part of that too. He was a part of that. Because he was telling the executives and people, don't mess with him. Just picture this, bro. He knew he could write. He knew 50 had talent. You understand? Why 50 ain't get a deal in New York City?
Facts, yeah. They had him blackballed. I mean, I think even Herb Gotti talked about it in an interview that He blackballed him.
Right. But hold up, it ain't only Irv Gotti, because Puff had a voice just as much, or probably more than Irv. If Puff would have said, yo, I'm gonna sign this kid, who's gonna stop him? Why he didn't sign him? He wrote some of his best lyrics. You understand? Let's get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the whole thing about it is, man, and now these dudes out here want to portray like I supposed to love my enemy. Man, I don't turn the cheek, all that shit like that, no Diddy. I don't turn the cheek, I don't fuck around like that. But the whole thing about it is, if in fact somebody gonna pay me to get at my enemy, and I'm gonna get a piece of that piece.
Slide Diegler also paints a portrait of someone who, in his view, always craved control. He says Diddy wasn't acting out of fun or mere attraction. It felt deliberate, almost calculated. According to Sly, one move stood out above all others, out of everyone in the world. Diddy chose to get involved with 50 Cent's child's mother.
He just really is into sex. He like recording girls, and then him getting with 50 Cent's baby mother was definitely like a power move.
Oh yeah.
And then he records, so he keeps these recordings. So what I was thinking is like, what if he can be on some shit like, if he really want to get at it, like, look at your baby mama fucking on these dudes,
Right,
getting slipped out, like, to really piss him off. Like, maybe I feel like sometimes, I feel like he uses the recordings for leverage, low key.
Yeah, because I've been around Diddy before. I've been at parties with him. There's no shortage of women that are approaching him, right? So out of all the billions of women in the world, you pick the baby mother of someone who doesn't like you.
Right.
And do you feel that this was like him doing that on purpose to get back at 50?
Definitely. It was definitely like a revenge or beef type thing to get with his baby mother.
He explains that this wasn't about a lack of options. Having seen Diddy at parties, he knew women were constantly drawn to him. So to Sly, the choice seemed deliberate. Why get involved with someone so closely tied to a person you're already in conflict with? According to him, it looked like revenge, plain and simple.
They told me how they met, and it was like,
how did they meet?
They said they met at a party through a friend or something like that. But I mean, I guess that's Hollywood though. Hollywood, everybody know each other pretty much. But still though, you know, she knew who he was. She knew that her baby mom father didn't like him, and she didn't like him either. So I'm sure she got with him for a reason.
Oh, so she was doing it too?
Yeah.
Oh, they were both doing it. I didn't even think about it that way. Yeah, that's a good point.
They just clicked up. And like he informed me, like he had multiple girlfriends. So of course she wasn't his only girl. Like he would see her maybe a couple after a couple months, every couple months.
Well, that's just with you though. That's just with you.
Nah, he would like literally see her every couple months.
Oh, he told you that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because Don the Dealer was the first like threesome they had. So, and he was meeting up with him on a regular basis. He even mentioned after his houses were raided, he went to like the Miami mansion and met up with them again. They were talking about it.
I ain't never been to the Miami mansion or nothing. I used to go to different hotels and stuff, but we've met in Miami at hotels and whatnot.
Well, you guys never discussed price, but at the end you did get paid.
Yeah,
the first time.
Sly explains that he never visited the big mansions himself. Their meetings typically took place in hotels. He says he was paid the first time, and after that, the amount varied depending on how long the sessions lasted. Some nights went far beyond what most people could endure. He described encounters that began at night and stretched well into the next day, sometimes lasting most of the day.
About the cum shots, like it was definitely about the cum shots. One time it was like, I gave you 2 bands more if you do another cum shot. So it's definitely about the cum shot.
Okay. And these sessions would last like 12 hours?
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah. What was the longest you went?
I mean, it usually was go from night to morning to the afternoon. I mean, I say like 16 hours. It's just like a night to day thing, night to day. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, most human beings can't have a session like that for 16 hours.
With a little break in between.
Well, sober.
Yeah.
And you would show up and they'd be geeked up.
Sometimes, I mean,
They were. It depends on what night it was. Like I could tell when they were more geeked up than other nights, and but they were always on some type of something.
Right. And there'd be a tray of drugs in the room.
Yeah, they party hard.
Sly also notes that, despite everything, their communication stayed surprisingly casual. They would text like ordinary people. On one occasion, when he needed help at the hotel, she even sent him money. When he was in town, they sometimes met up. One of their briefest encounters happened in Los Angeles. Everything was arranged quickly and ended just as fast. He also noticed little details that felt off, like the marijuana, which didn't taste right to him. Having spent so much time in LA, he knew what real weed should be, and this definitely wasn't it.
He would be offering me like honey packs and like different dick pills, and sometimes he would offer me a pill and she would be like, nah, don't do that. Like most of the time she didn't want me to do no drugs. I think she was kind of like protecting me from doing drugs. But I don't know what the hell they had. I mean, I seen the pills. I didn't know what the fuck it was, but I seen pink and different pills. I don't know. They had like juice, some juice, probably Molly water or something. I don't know.
Well, this one time you went to go smoke some weed.
Oh, well, yeah. The joints always tasted funny. The joints always tasted like, I don't know. It tasted like the synthetic type. Like, I know good weed. I be in LA all the time, so I know good weed, but that wasn't no regular stuff that I was hitting. But I used to smoke them just because it was there, and it was like, but
when Sly shared his side, he didn't describe it as coercion or criminal. To him, it was social situations, parties, money exchanged afterward, nothing that felt illegal at the time. Yet, when pressed on whether he felt taken advantage of, he didn't shy away from the truth.
You were exploited.
Do I feel like I was exploited? A bit, yeah.
Yeah? How so?
I mean, I feel like the love in it was I mean, because we really was very close. Like, I felt like we was real, like having real deep conversations and like, cried in front of them. And
you cried in front of them?
Yeah, I cried. I was embarrassed to say I was up at the time. I ain't gonna lie, we was drinking De Leon and
okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like I was close to her, I thought, but it kind of felt like fake love, like after a while. But it's just I don't feel like I was I did everything I wanted to. I got paid for it, but I feel like it could have been it could have been smoother. It could have been things it could have been more. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a better opportunity, I feel like. And the way we used to talk, I mean, I wanted to do other business things instead of just, being somebody they hired to fuck. So yeah, I feel like it was a bit of exploitation, and then her acting like she my girlfriend or actually care about me. And it's like, yeah, it's exploiting. Like,
what cemented that feeling was how abruptly communication ended after the case. There was no follow-up, no check-ins, no friendship, just silence once the connection was no longer useful. When asked hypothetically if he would ever return if Diddy reached out years later, even with more money on the table, Sly gave a response that was both surprising and revealing.
Diddy gets out in a few years, and he calls you up and wants to do another freak off. What would you do? And he'll double the money this time because of inflation.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Because those freak offs got you caught up in a lot of stuff afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Gene Deal also addressed the claims that 50 Cent was snitching on Diddy because of what appeared in the documentary, particularly the segments about Tupac and the clips involving Kef D. Many believe that material should never have been included and are pointing the finger at 50 Cent for releasing it. But Gene sees it differently. In his view, the truth is almost the opposite. 50 Cent wasn't the one making the final decisions.
Let's say that 50 Cent did the whole documentary. He was responsible for doing the whole documentary, what goes in there and what goes out of there. Now, I don't believe that. And I don't believe that he's responsible for everything that goes in there. I don't believe he's responsible for everything that goes out of there. Guys want to say that he's snitching, you know what I'm saying? Because he's telling his truth about what went down and what he saw or what he heard or whatever like that. I don't know how to love my enemy. And if I gotta put out the truth about something that he was doing and is wrong, and that was wrong, I don't have no problem with that, 50. Not a problem at all. Keep doing it. Maybe enough men come out and speak out on some bull.
When it comes to those defending Diddy, Gene said he used to believe it was about access, wanting a piece of the lifestyle, a taste of power, a close connection. But over time, his perspective shifted. He began to see that some people defend him because they see themselves in him. They're not defending the man, they're defending the behavior. And now, he says, all of that is coming to light.